Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And today I have with me a diamond in the rough. His name is Semise Kofe. He's a defensive lineman out of Portland State. How's your day going, buddy?
Doing good. How's yours?
Doing fine. Getting busy. We're approaching the draft. We're deep into draft season now, which is making things interesting. Let's get a chance to meet you, man. Tell me a little bit about maybe where you're from and how you got there to Portland State.
I'm from Portland, Oregon. I went to school out here, Roosevelt High School, with head coach Coach Swain. I was recruited my senior year by Coach Malloy, who's actually at UCLA right now, and Coach Davis, who was the interim head coach at LSU this past season. So those two coaches were the ones who recruited me out of high school to go to Portland State.
Gotcha. So being from Portland, was it always going to be Portland State? Like, I mean, were you just kind of a hometown guy? You just want to kind of stick around? Is that the reason why you chose Portland State?
Yeah, you could say like I'm a hometown guy. I was getting heavily recruited out of high school, but because I declared for a mission and wanted to serve a mission, a lot of schools kind of just pulled out. Mm-hmm. And there were 3 schools remaining, and Portland State to me felt like the best choice. And on top of that, I didn't really want to leave my mom all alone by herself.
Gotcha. I mean, I understand that. I mean, obviously, you have certain priorities in life, whether it be family or your faith and the service that you're trying to, perform, which I think is awesome. So let's talk about you as a football player, defensive lineman. So what do you feel separates you as a prospect? What do you feel like is like the best part about your game?
The best part of my game is with the wrestling background, I'm able to hand fight. I'm tough mentally. Like, if you knock me down, I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to come back and try to do the same back to you. I got a motor. I could play all 3 downs. I can go 4th down if I need to. But other than that, it's just, I think what separates me is my aggression and motor to keep going and keep pushing.
So, I mean, I look at a player like you, about 6'2", 310 pounds. What sort of scheme and or position do you feel suits your skill set? I mean, where do you see yourself on that defensive line?
So at Portland State, the first 3 years, it was more of a 3-tech on the D-line because we ran a 4-man front. But this past season, I put up better numbers than I ever had, and it was only a 3-man front. So I was really the nose guard, 0-tech, the whole time. And I think with the number speaks for itself, I think I could really just play any position, but a nose guard position, I think I could really make a bigger impact than on any other line, position on the line.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, to be quite honest with you, not to necessarily pigeonhole you somewhere, but I mean, I do feel like you can play that interior, whether it be a 3-tech or somewhere maybe in like a 4-man front on the interior. I mean, I think both of those would suit you easily. So, another thing that I feel like really helps you as a prospect is you were a team captain. So talk to me about you as a leader there for your defense.
Yeah, so I was honored to be named team captain by my team. I was honored that they look at me that way. It's just that when we're in the weight room, I'm going to challenge you physically. I'm going to challenge you mentally. Even on the field, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make sure that you know that I'm there and I'm watching you, pushing you to do your best, because what's the point of showing up if you're not going to do something? Sometimes I'll cuss at you, get in your face, but at the end of the day, we're all trying to go through the same goal, and I think that's what they saw in me. I tried to be the best version of myself for them so that I wouldn't cheat them out of a year for them to be at Portland State.
Gotcha. So, I mean, you got to have a guy occasionally that'll, I don't know, slap you around a little bit. So
yeah, I'm a nose guard, man. I'm gritty.
Whether it be verbally or physically, but I mean, even as a teammate, being able to push the guys around you. So,
Yeah.
um, as you were talking about there, I mean, being a leader, on and off the field, especially like in a place like the weight room. So, talk to me about how you have used the weight room over the years in order to better your game. Let's start first with like your favorite lift there.
Uh, my favorite lift, it grew to be the hang cleans. Those started becoming my favorite lifts because I actually started learning the techniques and actually how to use my hips more, how to apply those things to get more power through the bar. And it helps with explosion too, and it applies it to the field. The bench is good. My PR for the bench was a 455 pounds, one rep
Nice.
max. My 225 that we tested, PR was 39 times. My squat, my PR was 555 pounds. But even right now, all those numbers, I feel like I can surpass them when pro day comes.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously, a lot of those numbers that you mentioned there are very good numbers. I mean, 39. You said 39 reps. I mean, I want to make
39
sure
reps.
because I wrote that down. It's like that is one hell of a number there for that 225. So, I mean, definitely interesting. I mean, those things do translate. I mean, it's not so much being able to have the power, but being able to just be consistent and stay with that level of intensity like on each and every down. So I do think that does help you for sure as a prospect. So obviously throughout that whole game prep, I mean you have to get in the film room, you have to study your opponent. Give me an example of maybe a time where you were in the film room, study your opponent, and it really played out in the game time situation. So give me maybe an example there.
So in the film room, when I'm in there, I usually look at their stance first. Usually I'm in the nose guard. So I look at how the center holds the ball, how wide his feet is, and which way he's tilting more. It just gives it away if they're gonna go right or go left, or even a pass rush if his shoulders are set high. And then I look for tendencies. I kind of just look at the ball, how he snaps it right so I can get my trigger down. His tendency of does he lean more to his left? Does he lean more to his right? And then I look at other D linemen and the success they have on that center. So if this D lineman from so-and-so school did how many rips against this center and it worked, then I'm going to try to do my rips, practice throughout the week to get ready for that game.
Great. So, what's been one of your most memorable moments there? For your program, is there maybe a game or a play that sticks out?
Uh, Most memorable game is, I think it's 2018 against University of Montana. It's just my second year back off my mission. First year with a new defensive coordinator, so things are just coming up. And they were ranked number 14 in the nation. And we went in there on their home field and on their homecoming, sold out crowd. And we just beat them on a game-winning field goal. It was one of those things you see in movies,
Mm.
and the crowd was just talking to us. And when that field goal went in, there's just dead silent. Picked up a couple tackles in that game, picked up a sack, contributed to the win, and it just feels good.
Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned obviously Montana. I mean, a lot of people that may not know of the Big Sky Conference. I mean, you're talking about some of the most competitive guys out there, such as Montana, who really had been dominant for a while there, and then also other teams that have been very competitive, offering a lot of you know, like for example, offenses that have been very explosive. Who has been like the most impressive opponent for you, like specifically, recently?
Uh, I mean, like you said, both Montanas are always good. Sac State is good, but to me, Eastern Washington, they're good every year consistently. Their quarterback this year is just explosive. He gets rid of the ball. He can run. He can do it all, and it showed during his stats when they played us. Unfortunately, but that just proves to what kind of player he is.
Well, I mean, it also proves to the level of competition and because I know a lot of people when they look at a small school athlete, they wonder, okay, he's playing lesser competition. Who is he playing? I mean, he's playing really some fantastic competition, at least in your case. I mean, playing against, you know, like the Montanas, Sac State, and then of course, the Walter Payton Award winner this past season. So I mean, you get a
Yeah.
guy who's putting up ridiculous numbers and having a lot of great talent on that offense. Real quick, bud, let's give some love to maybe some of your teammates. Who's been the most impressive guy for you? As of today.
Uh, Most impressive is Anthony Adams, our DB slash safety. Two-time All-American. He's one of the hardest workers in the weight room, on the field. He always picks up the energy. His pregame speeches can do some work, but when he puts on that helmet, he's ready to go. Our DN, VJ Malo, I can always count on him to contain his edge, get the tackle, the TFL, or the sack. And also our quarterback, Davis Alexander, Walter Payton award watch list, had to battle through some injuries, but toughed it out for the season. Those guys, to me, they showed a great example of what a football player and what a Portland State Vikings should be.
Right. So I mean, definitely some guys that are going to continue to be there for at least the following season. So really looking forward to how that's going to play out for them for sure. So let's get back to you and your history as an athlete. You had mentioned there briefly there at the beginning about your wrestling background. Being really a very you really stood out as a wrestler in high school and also had a rugby background. So chat with me just a little bit about that and how that has helped you as a football player.
Yeah, so it all started. My older brother wrestled, and so I'm not much of a hooper. I can't make a basket, but so I wanted to find something just to keep me in shape. And so wrestling was there for me. I wrestled under Coach McPherson. Uh, his son wrestled at Portland State. They're both Hall of Famers. And he just helped me through it. The phase of wrestling started freshman, sophomore year. Freshman year, didn't really do too well. It was my first year. Sophomore year, I went to state, went to the finals, lost in the finals. And then junior and senior year, I won state both times. And so that really helped me build my mental toughness. It helped me just staying low, hand fighting. It applied to football more than any other sport I've tried. And rugby, went on a couple all-star teams, traveled to California, Utah, all those places to play rugby. And that was one of the more fun things I did was play rugby. But other than that, I think wrestling really actually helped me more than any other sport.
Yeah, I mean, of the people that I've talked to with regards to other sports and how they have translated for a guy maybe at your position, having a wrestling background really has a lot of advantages. And so, I mean, you're talking about a guy who went to state, won at state. So you're talking about a guy who understands his leverages and how to manipulate his opponent and having good hand fighting skills. So I really love that about you. Let's take a moment now. I mean, I really want to meet who Semise Kofe is like outside of sports. So chat with me a little bit about yourself, your interests, your hobbies, anything that you want to chat about that you feel is unique about you. So give me some.
I like to cook because I like to eat. So there goes that. I was a Boy Scout growing up. I'm also engaged. So
Awesome.
there's one, getting married soon in April. That's
So
really it.
you said you're a Boy Scout, but you're not just a Boy Scout, you're an Eagle Scout. So, I mean, there's a difference between being a Boy Scout and an Eagle Scout because not very many people get to that Eagle Scout level.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, when it comes to character in Boy Scouts, I mean, obviously getting to that level, you need to have like a lot of stuff fall into place there, and it's a lot of hard work. So I mean, uh, a guy that I know has done a lot of service. I mean, you had talked a little bit about going on that mission. So talk to me about your mission there, because I want to say you went to the Philippines. So real quick, give me some insight on that. on that you know, for you?
Yeah, that's what also separates me from a lot of guys is because I declared on my mission. A lot of schools pulled out of offering me, but you know, I do it all over again. So I served in Urdaneta, Philippines. You know, I learned the language of Tagalog, became fluent in it, and was able to just teach my faith to those who would accept it. You know, and just serve those who would accept my help. You know, regardless if they accepted my faith or not, I would continue to serve them if they needed cleaning, if they needed cement driveways, or, you know, if a typhoon hit, we just clean up their yard for them. You know, it was just for 2 years, I was just able to lose myself and be able to find myself in the service of God, you know, and that I'd do that all over again, even if it meant losing more offers.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously that's one big thing about you that a program would be getting is a guy that is willing to serve within the community, a guy with high character, which I think really helps. Um, as we kind of close things down, tell me a couple of quick things. Obviously, again, like we had started out, I mean, we're in draft season. So where are you training at right now? Are there any coaches that are helping you get prepared for that pro day?
Yeah, right now I'm working out at Grind Time Fit here in Beaverton, Oregon, with Coach Aaron Woods. You know, he was a Portland State alumni, really good dude, and we're training 40 times, shuttle times, 10-yard splits, L drills. We're trying to get our bench up. You know, he has me there Monday through Saturday. He's recovery. He's big on recovery, trying to get my body right, but at the same time getting mobility, lifting weights, lifting heavy, he's basically he's taking good care of me. You know, I really appreciate everything he's really done for me so far.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if you're going to get much better than 39 reps at 225, but I mean, if you do, I think that would be, you know, fantastic. So obviously working with a coach to help you with all of those combine-esque drills. So any other tidbits about that stuff right now that you want to give us with regards to that pro day or what?
My goal is to beat the Stephen Fire record, you know, just and
Hey,
give.
it'll work if you get there. I mean, for sure, it'll be great. So as we close down everything, I want to give you the opportunity to just kind of talk to all those scouts out there. Just kind of look in that camera and give them your pitch as to why they need to take a chance on you and bring you into their program. So go ahead, hit all those professional scouts with your pitch.
And to all the NFL scouts and all the GMs, you won't regret giving me a chance. All I'm asking is for one chance. You're not going to find any other guy with a bigger chip on his shoulder. I've been the underdog my whole life, been slept on my whole life, went through adversity, but on top of that, I've still made it this far. You know, and I think that when you invest in a guy like me, you won't regret it. You know, everyone says that, but I could tell you right now, ask any coach I've come across, any player I've come across, they'll tell you the same thing.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, obviously, what we're getting in you is first and foremost a man of high character, but second, we're also getting a guy who's a very competitive athlete, who's been you know, just very successful in whatever sport he's been a part of. I mean, having a wrestling background definitely helps. I mean, being able to utilize that leverage in hand fighting that you were able to learn at a young age, and you know, I do know that a lot of you know, scouts and coaches love that about prospects. So, and having a little bit of versatility to move around a little bit on that defensive line certainly helps. So, I do feel some team out there should be paying attention to you, turning on that tape, and hopefully giving you you know, some kind of a, you know, a chance at the next level. So I do wish you best of luck. Okay.
You know, thank you.
No problem. Again, I have with me Semise Kofe. He's defensive tackle out of Portland State. Definitely check him out.